Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. So, I got a Pokemon Pocket TCG video for you. I literally just started playing this game yesterday and I'm already hooked. It's been a ton of fun. I'm playing what I affectionately refer to as a Team Rocket deck because Arbok and Weezing are going to be the headliners. And as you can see, our first game here is going to be up against Mewtwo. We're just going straight into it. Our deck list is over on the left. We're on 2 Ekans, 2 Arbok, 2 Coughing, 2 Weezing, 2 Pokeball, 2 Potion, 1 red card, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Koga, 2 Sabrina, 1 Giovanni. We're leading off with Ekans. Our opponent is leading off with Jinx. A nice matchup and one of the main reasons why this deck is so good in this format. If you're looking for a deck that is competitive and also cheap, this is definitely the way to go. We're not playing any EXs, so we don't have to hope to pull or spend a lot of pack points for those. In fact, I don't think any one card in this deck costs more than 70 pack points. The Weezing might be a little bit more. I'm actually not sure because I got lucky enough to pull 2 of the full art Weezing. So that is one of the reasons why I went into this deck. Okay, so we're going to red card our opponent here because they have 4 in hand. I don't know if there's a better time to use the red card. I've generally just been using it when our opponent has more than 3 in hand. So we're going to battle against the Jinx. We can potentially threaten to 2-shot it here because it has 80 HP. And again, that's 80 HP. I know that sounded like I was saying something else, but again, we have that type advantage over Psychic. Funny how Poison, which is typically weak to Psychic, actually has an advantage over it because it's treated as dark in this game. But that is one of the reasons why this deck is so good, because Mewtwo is so prominent in the format, and this makes it a very nice counter to it. And it's also just a good deck in general, so... they're going to potion up the Jinx. We actually have the Arbok in our hand, which can deal 60 damage, not even including the bonus, right? So we actually don't care about that potion. Opponent is going to evolve their routes into a Curlia, setting up the Gardevoir there, but without another attacker, the Gardevoir doesn't threaten quite as much as it would normally. Certainly not with the Mewtwo up here. Other cards in our hand include Koga, Potion, and Weezing, so we're all nice and set up for our strategy here. The idea a lot of the time is that we are going to use the Arbok's Constrict attack in order to lock an opponent in as we're dealing damage to them. And you can even use the Weezing beforehand. Ideally, that's the setup that you Weezing and then Arbok. Weezing to Poison, and then, especially if the Weezing is low on HP, you can Koga it back to your hand, switch in the Arbok, then Constrict it, so now the Pokemon is damaged, poisoned, and can't retreat out. Here the opponent's going to set up the Gardevoir in the active zone, looking to establish near. This Sabrina was actually a fantastic top deck, because I can snipe this route that they just put into the bench zone onto the active spot, and knock it out, getting a free little KO there. It's very nice to do that here again because we can close out the game a lot more quickly. Now we only have to KO 1 more Pokemon, which definitely puts our opponent on much tighter of a clock, right? It definitely threatens it a lot more. Their Gardevoir is going to be live as far as like being able to deal damage next turn, but the Arbok has a nice 100 HP, and our opponent hasn't taken any prizes. They haven't knocked out any Pokemon yet, so... Or I guess prizes aren't in this game, but you know what I mean. They're going to Pokeball here. And they do actually find the Mewtwo EX. With the X speed, they are able to swap out the Gardevoir now for the Mewtwo. I've actually thought about putting X speed in this deck as well. Maybe taking out the Giovanni. It hasn't really been super great. I like everything else about the list. You could also consider putting in another Pokemon. I've seen people on Grimer and Muck. I've actually played Grimer and Weezing, or Muck Weezing, before I played Arbok Weezing, so I had a decent bit of success playing that, but... Alright, here I'm going to potion up the Arbok, which will let it survive another one of the Psyshock, I think is the 2 energy attack, but of course they're going to be able to get up to 4 energy with the Gardevoir's help anyway next turn, so we're still going to corner it. We'll put it down to 70. Now it can't swap out either. And now we're in a position where we can definitely threaten to KO the Mewtwo in a reasonable amount of time here, right? Again, it is going to be able to KO the Arbok, but that's fine because this is the first knockout that my opponent has had, and we already have 2, so... Weezing gets to come in here, and we're going to end up using a combination of course, the Poison Gas as well as the Tackle to end up finishing off this Mewtwo. Not quite yet on this turn. I guess if we drew Giovanni, that would actually do it here as far as finishing it off. So I'm going to definitely want to throw down this coughing, as the Mewtwo does threaten to one-shot the wheezing here. But again, I wasn't really super concerned also for this reason. I actually should have put down the coughing one turn sooner. I was a little afraid, well, I was afraid of Sabrina, but then I didn't realize at the time of playing this game in particular that I actually get to pick what goes out for Sabrina. I forgot. I thought it was like Pokemon Catcher. I think that's how Pokemon Catcher worked in the physical card game, that your opponent got to pick what went out. But no, Sabrina's a little more forgiving. The power level, of course, of this game being a fair bit lower than the TCG, so yeah, opponent's going to get to put stuff on the Mewtwo, but not be able to do much else. Side Drive going to one-shot the Weezing, but I have another Pokemon to switch in. The Mewtwo only has 10 HP left. The Molt's HP actually didn't end up mattering because I KO'd an EX and, you know, get 2 points here anyway, but I think it was still the right move in that moment, so there we go. There is going to be our first win, taking the W over Mewtwo. Again, this matchup is kind of one of the reasons that this our deck, our Team Rocket deck in particular, is so good here. You know what? I should have gotten the Meowth accessories and put those on. I guess I could still do that, but I should have done that for this video. Sending our opponent a thanks. You should always send your opponent a thanks. There's no reason not to. Alright, next up is Blaine. But I put Moltres EX as the headliner here because that is going to be one of the big prominent threats that we're going to face over the course of this game. So we're going second this time. It's funny, I'm actually not sure in this game whether I like going first or second yet. I actually think I like going second more, because you get to place your energy first, and that does tend to be pretty important. Alright, so we have an Ekans set up. Our server hand is Potion, Professor's Research, Pokeball. Opponent sets up 3, one of them being Moltres EX, and then Drowsy and another Moltres. The Drowsy does threaten to go into Hypno, which from the bench can put the other Pokemon, our Pokemon, to sleep. Alright, Pokeball for a Charmander is going to happen here before passing back over to us. We get a Sabrina, which is not too bad. Alright, so we're going to start off with Pokeball. Pokeball is going to grab an Ekans, and we'll throw that onto the bench here in a moment. But first, we're going to Professor's Research to draw a couple of cards, getting Koga, Sabrina. There's another Ekans, and at this point, it's not really that great of a move, but we kind of don't have much other choice. I'm just going to have to put on an energy and start biting at this Moltres EX, chipping away at it, 20 damage at a time. Really looking for the Arbok here. That would be fantastic. Oh my god, Arbok would be such a great top deck. Not only do we start threatening to deal more damage to the Moltres, but then we can constrict to keep it in play, meaning that we're going to get to guaranteed KO it, more or less, over time, and also, of course, meaning that we get 2 points off of it for KOing the Moltres. So, alright, opponents flipping their coins. They landed 2 heads, which is like, you know, whatever. 1 or 2 heads is about average, what you would expect, right? So, putting those both on the Moltres in the back row. Here we get a coughing, which is like, okay, you know, not quite what we want, but that's fine. Yeah, I definitely don't want to use Sabrina here, because then they just pull out the Moltres that already has 2 energy on it. Although, I guess, you know what? I think Sabrina was actually the play here, because if we do that, the effect only puts energy on the bench Pokemon. So if they do actually put out the Moltres with 2 energy, that would delay them setting up a Moltres for attacking by another turn. So that might have actually been the play in this situation. Or they put out Drowsy or Charmander. At that point, we're fine with it, but now... Or maybe it was Hypno by that point. Anyway, in either case, Hypno is going to land a heads here to successfully put our Ekans to sleep. Yeah, it's not often that you have hands like this, or at least I haven't encountered a lot of hands like this where you don't have Arbok or Weezing, but yeah, when you don't have either, you are just playing, you know, weak basic Pokemon. Oh, 3 heads here after 2 heads. That's absolutely brutal. So, we land heads as well, though, which is nice. I mean, nice. Nice in the sense that we can deal 20 damage. Finally getting another and evolution in general here, going for the wheezing. I was checking to see if I could gas leak from the bench. I didn't think that I could, but yeah. So here, I don't know. I maybe could have considered swapping in the wheezing at this point, but oh no, I did. Oh no, I did already have an energy on it. I just didn't notice. Okay, because I saw myself put it on the Ekans there, and I thought I misplayed, but no, we're good. We're good. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and tackle after poisoning the Moltres. That'll bring it down to 60 HP. That is within constriction, or corner. I mean, you would think it would be constrict, but it's actually corner is the name of the attack. Drowsy getting in the coin flip here for the sleep. They do land it. Wow, our opponent's been really lucky with the coin flips this game. XP going to lower the retreat cost of this Moltres, which will allow it to swap out at this point. Into the other Moltres, which does have 3 energy on it. Another energy going on to the Charmander, so it's got 4 there. 70 going against the wheezing here, but we do land another heads to wake up, which is good. Alright, there's an Arbok, finally. I've been waiting for one of these for quite a bit, and I don't think I actually have a Koga at this point. Oh, but yeah, I do. It's right there. But I went for Sabrina instead. I think that was a misplay. Well, was that a misplay? Was that actually a misplay? Oh, you know what? Because the reason... You know what? I think this was still a fine play. Because we have potions, we can just use those on the wheezing, which is basically like using a Koga here. I do remember this point being like, oh yeah, right, Koga and Sabrina are both supporters, so I can't use both in the same turn. I'd somehow forgotten that, but... the double potion does effectively do the same thing that we wanted to anyway. Now I can poison and battle the Charmander. This kind of doesn't do any good, though, in the grand scheme of things, because they can just swap out the Charmander. And we do have another Sabrina, but it's like... I think this sequence is okay. I think I could have played a little bit better, though. God, they keep... Again, with the heads. So many heads from our opponent. I think of all of the coins they flipped this game, I think one was tails. One of the initial Moltres flips, and they attached 2 instead of 3. I think it's the only tails they flipped so far. Yeah, potion on the Charmander. It's interesting. I don't know if I would have used potion there if I was them, just because, like, yeah, you're going to swap the Moltres in anyway. And it's like... 20 and 40, there's not really much of a difference there, especially when you're up against the things that I have here. Alright, let's see if we can... Okay, you know, at least we're getting heads as much as they are with the Hypno here. Red card. They have 3 in hand, so it doesn't really matter. I think I missed attaching an energy last turn to the Arbok there. Sabrina again. I definitely should have Koga'd here. Although, again, I really am not the biggest fan of the idea of switching Arbok into this. Because the Moltres deals, what, 70 per turn? The Arbok deals 60, so they definitely kill us before we kill them. Although they haven't taken any, like, prizes yet. They swap in their Charmander here, which is actually what I was hoping for. Yeah, there we go. Putting an energy on the Arbok, and then... Yeah, we've poisoned the Charmander, so now we can do 30 damage with the tackle, and then the poison will take care of the rest. So finally the first KO in this game is me taking out that Charmander with 4 fire energy on it. Of course, the Moltres is coming back out here. So, okay. This game feels a lot more winnable at this point, because now I just have to take out this Moltres. As long as I can take out this Moltres, it's an EX. Which means that it will end up giving me 2 prizes. Yeah, Heat Blast on the Wheezing is very predictable here. But we can simply bring in the... probably just the... Oh, well, it's gotta be the Arbok here, right? Yeah. I mean, this board state actually looks pretty winnable currently, right? Because I Arbok corner, put it down to 80. They Heat Blast, put me down to 30. I corner again, put them down to 20. They KO, but they can't swap out, and then I can just crack back with Ekans or Coughing, and then I just win. They have 4 cards in hand here, so I'm just going to red card. I think it is probably best to take advantage of the red card as soon as you're able to, just because like it'd be really easy for your opponent to play like a basic, an item, and a supporter, and then all of a sudden they have like 2 cards left in hand, and red card is pretty far from being worth it. Alright, Drowsy coming down. They're going to Sleep Pendulum. The game kind of hinges on this coin flip here. We do need to be able to attack next turn, and thankfully they finally land heads on the Hypno. Yeah, we definitely needed that to land. Well, I mean, I guess if it landed heads, then we just need to land heads. But either way, we need the Arbok to be awake here. So, yeah, I'll evolve my Arbok, or my Ekans into Arbok. Why not? And, yeah, I mean, yeah, we corner. And at this point, the sleep on the Hypno doesn't matter, because they're going to KO anyway. And if they don't... Well, can you retreat when you're asleep? Let's see what they do here. I actually don't know. I don't think you can, but I don't remember for sure off the top of my head. Another Hypno. Does that mean they get 2 sleep checks? Well, they succeeded. They landed heads. I think they do end up attacking anyway. I think the play was to not attack here, though. Especially if it is true that you can't retreat while asleep, then the play was absolutely to not attack here. And hope that I land tails. But now I just win. Because I switched... I mean, even if I had swapped in Coughing, the Moltres is at 20, so the Coughing would have KO'd it too. But we'll use the Arbok. And I'll throw on the Giovanni, even though it's not even remotely necessary. Run a corner, and that'll KO the Moltres. That's worth 2. Again, 2 points, even though we only have the 1. KOing the Moltres here does get us our victory. So yeah, another pretty solid game that's showing off the overall game plan of this deck. I mean, that's the thing about Weezing and Arbok. You know, again, they're not flashy EXs, but they are very efficient attackers. Good stuff. And send off our thanks. Of course, gotta do that every single time. Alright, last opponent here is going to be on Pikachu EX. What a fitting final matchup here for Team Rocket. We are finally going to be nabbing that Pikachu. Alright. Losing this coin flip, so we are going second here, which again, I'm kind of thinking that I don't mind the more I think about it. So, this hand looks pretty good. We have Coughing, we have Weezing, we have Koga. Can't really ask for too much more than that. Potion and Arbok being our final 2 cards in hand here. Alright, we're waiting for our opponent to throw down their 2. Their 3, rather. They do have the Pikachu EX to start off with 2 bench Pokemon in the opening hand is pretty good. I was making sure this other Pikachu wasn't an EX. Yeah, it's a regular one, and they have the Electabuzz there too, so... Alright, they're going to Pokeball and then pass. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to Pokeball here as well. We find a Coughing. Of course, I was hoping to find the Ekans because I have the Arbok in hand. So that was a little unlucky getting the 1 in 3 for the Coughing there. The 1 in 3 chance for it, but... you know, worse things have happened. We'll deal 20 to this Pikachu. Pikachu deals 30 times the number of bench Pokemon for 2 electric. So, can't start attacking right away, but it is going to start dealing a lot of damage once it can. 90, up to 90. Actually, it is going to be 90 because there's another Pikachu EX coming down, so... And the regular Pikachu is evolving into a Raichu. Furthermore, a potion will heal the Pikachu EX back up to 120. So, that was a very good turn for the opponent there. Drawn a Koga. Still looking for that Ekans, but we can at least evolve our Coughing into the Weezing. Alright, now I'm going to put the Dark Energy onto the Coughing on the bench. Gonna poison the Pikachu EX. And actually, we're in a really, really nice gameplay loop here that you're about to see play out for this game. And it's kind of an ideal Weezing scenario that we got going on here. So, The Pikachu does have 2 electric energy, so now it's dealing 90. That puts our Wheezing down to a measly 20. However, there's our Ekans, which is pretty good. However, what we can do here, first I'm going to put the Ekans down, and then I'm going to use Koga, and this is one of the main uses of Koga. Koga is a lot of the time basically just a full heal, because now I'm going to swap in the Coughing from my bench that already has an energy. I can play the Wheezing, and it actually returns the Coughing to your hand too, so you can just put that back on your bench and then put another energy on it, and then boom. Now I've got literally the exact same setup for the next turn, and this is how I'm going to deal with my opponent's Pikachu EX. I'm poisoning it, I'm dealing damage with the Tackle, and this is a very, very good way to threaten it here. Now I was a little worried about my opponent swapping the Pikachu out here, but they actually end up using a potion instead, which is completely fine with me because poison is between every single turn, meaning after this turn, it'll go down to 40, and then I can deal 30 with the Tackle, and then the last bit of 10 will take it out. So, yet again here, I have the second Koga, so like I said, this is a pretty ideal game loop here. Get to put that other Coughing I set up last turn into play, put the Wheezing on top. Of course, I put an energy on it last turn, so it's already set up from that. Put the Coughing onto my bench. This time I'll put the energy onto Ekans because I have the Arbok in play, and I'll just evolve it now because why not? I am in the habit of gas sticking every turn, even if it's already poisoned. You know, ever the Master Duel player clicking yellow buttons, what can I say? Alright, there is 2 points rather, from that Pikachu EX. Opponent's going to put their second Pikachu EX into play for drawing for turn here. Now, we're out of Kogas, so we can't heal to the same efficiency that we did before, but it's actually fine, because our opponent's only going to have 2 bench Pokemon, meaning this Pikachu only deals 60. Now I can use this potion in my hand to get myself up to 70, meaning that I will survive this next turn. I can, of course, poison and tackle, and even when this Wheezing goes down, I have an Arbok and a Wheezing in the back row waiting. This Pikachu's finally ours! Yeah, there we go, up to 70 HP. Like I said, going to tackle the Pikachu here. Bring it down to 90, and the poison's going to bring it down to 80. Yeah, I think that I maybe should have made an effort to start switching in the Arboks at some point. Or the Arbok, rather, against the Pikachus. That way I can corner and make sure they're not going to swap out, and that way I can know I can finish them off. But, yeah, our opponent has not been swapping out the Pikachus anyway. They've just been charge circuiting, or whatever the attack's called. It's been popping up the entire time. You think I know what it is by now, but yeah, look at that. We've got everything all set up here. Giovanni, our boss, giving out those orders to get that Pikachu, and Ash has surrendered it to us. Whew, so that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching this video. This is definitely, you know, of course, the first Pokemon Pocket TCG video I made, so hopefully y'all like it. If you want to see some more, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments below. I do Master Duel on my main channel and Illustrals on here if you're interested in either of those as well. But like I said, that's going to do it for this one. So this is Hexlex. I am going to be signing out. But more importantly, I hope that you all have a fantastic day.